सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Krishna is once again recounting the indestructibility of the Atman. In the verse 23, he talked about the weapons or the Panchabhutas which cannot destroy the Atman. Shastrani here of course means both Shastra and Astra, but in essence it means the earth, one of the Panchabhutas. In this shloka, Acharya's commentary is based on the Hetu Garbha Visheshanam, and in the 24th shloka the concept is same. However, in the earlier shloka we talked about the weapon or the Panchabhutas not being able to destroy the Atman. Here we are talking about the Atman as the central aspect. However, we continue to talk about the indestructibility of the Atman. Achedyoham, adahyoham, akledyo, ashosya evacha. Points are same. Cannot be cut, cannot be burned, cannot be dried, cannot be burnt by the shastras, cannot be dried by the wind. Dried by the wind means the wind generally takes away the binding liquid and disintegrates an object. Of course, such a thing happens to an entity which has got parts. Acharya had already explained the concept of niravayavatvat, not being subject to being parts or having parts. This shloka number 24, he had talked about the hetu-hetumat bhavaha approach. Talking about the same concept. Talks about the eternality of the Atman. In the second part of the shloka, he talked about nitya sarvagatah sthanuhu achaloyam सनातन है. आत्मन नित्य है, आत्म सर्वगत है, आत्म स्थानु, आत्म सनातन है. सनातन है here means ever the same, something that is unborn. Something that is unborn cannot be destroyed. नाशयितुं न उत्सहन्ते. भूतानि एनम आत्मानं नाशयितुं न उत्सहन्ते. Acharya says नित्यत्वात्, सर्वगतत्वात्, being स्थाणुः and achalah. Once again, Acharya brings about the point that Atman, the concept of Atman, is very difficult to understand. It is agrahya, it is aprameya, and it is durbodha, difficult to understand. So it is necessary for us to repeat the concepts again and again so that the idea here is to bring about, not just to know about Atman theoretically, but to bring about the end of samsara. Sansara nivritye syaditi. trying to know the Atma, knowing the Atma is not for an intellectual exercise, but to result ultimately in Loka Sangraha. Sanatana here also means akaryam. It is not a product, not generated, birthless, and ever fresh ultimately. Subsequently, Acharya emphasized on the unmanifest and unthinkable aspect of the Atman, recalling once again the avikarya aspect, changeless, immutable Atman. Avyakta hai because it cannot be, it is sensed by the sense organs, it cannot be grasped by the sense organs. Indriya agocharatvat na vyajate vyajyate na vyajyate sarva karana vishayatvat na vyajyate sarva karana vishayatvat avishayatvat sarva karana avishayatvat on account of being not an object for all the sense organs, it cannot be grasped. Aprameyaha atayeva achintyaha ayam, cannot be thought about as well. It is imperceptible, it is also unthinkable, cannot be thought about in a form. Earlier, in the earlier part, it is not an object of one's perception. Here, Acharya indicates that it is also not an object of inference. क्योंकि अविषयम cannot be chintayam. So, Anumana Pramana also doesn't apply here. And coming and to the end of the shloka, he says, Avikaryo ayam uchyate. अविक्रिय है, विकार नहीं है इसमें, विकार रहित होने के कारण इसको अकार्य कहा जाता है. And when you know the Atman in such a manner, there is no need to lament, no need to grieve. There is no place for grieving. There is no place to grieve, saying that I am going to kill them. I am going to be the killer of these people, my people. They will be killed by me. Karta, karma. Taking both things into account, Arjuna is lamenting, and the Lord says there is no need to grieve. If you have known Atma, as explained above. Now, the Atma Vishayam is more or less completed. Description of the Atma. The Atma and Atma topic is not yet over, but the description of the Atma is more or less over. the description of the eternal, indestructible Atma is over. Here Acharya interprets the next shloka, comments on the next shloka, shloka number 26. Atha chainam nityajatam nityam va manyase mritam. He doesn't want to leave any chances. Arjuna might or might not accept the aspects of the Atma that we discussed. He might be wondering, is the Atma really eternal? Here, the Lord brings in an hypothetical. Acharya says that the Lord brings in an hypothetical argument here. He says, Abhyupagamya idam uchyate, assuming that the Atma is anitya. Atma is nitya, there is no doubt there. That's what we have been talking. Because this verse says, Atha chainam nitya jatam nityam va manyase mritam. Manyase, assuming, or taken, understood to have been dying every day, nityam, dying and born. This cannot be explained but for the fact that Bhagavan is talking about the counter philosophy, the other philosophy, the other perspective on the Atma, which states the Atma as non-eternal, something that keeps being born and keeps dying constantly. Assuming that the Atma is not eternal, Nityam here means constantly being born and constantly dying. This refers to the Shanika Vijnanam of the Yogacara Buddhism philosophy. Even if we take that the Atma is not eternal, you still don't have any reason to grieve. Here, of course, we are taking this for the sake of the argument. Even by the perspective of the Yogacara Buddhism, Shanika Vijnanam, शून्यवाद, जिसको हम शून्यवाद कहते हैं, it has to be born and it has to die. Sorry. Every moment. So if it has to be born and die every moment, what is there to grieve again? So this body will keep disintegrating, being born again, being dying again. Atma is also taken in the same vein. This being the nature of the Atma, taken as constantly being born and constantly dying, this being the nature, tatha bhavini, api atmani. Acharya says, tatha bhavini. Being of such a nature means janmavato nasho, nashavato janma iti. This is bound to happen. It is bound to be destroyed. So why lament? The next verse, verse number 27. Acharya connects these two shlokas, 26 and 27. Tatha cha sati, that being so. What being so? जन्मवतो नाश है, नाशवतो जन्म है. Matter is given to change. This is bound to happen. Nature cannot be changed. Matter keeps changing, all right, but nature cannot be changed. The nature of the matter, it will keep changing. We can't do anything about it. So, jatasya hi dhruva mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Anything that is born has to die. It has to take another form. Anything that is dead or gone will have to come back again, will have to be born again in some other form, whatever form. This being the nature, something that cannot be changed. Acharya emphasizes tasmad apariharya. Because of this state, because of this choiceless state, we don't have a choice in this matter. There is nothing that we can do about it. Since you can't do anything about it, why grieve? Lord gives a very great lesson here. He says, you put your efforts in a direction which is going to bear fruit. Change something that can be changed. Don't attempt to change something which cannot be changed. Something that is inevitable, something which doesn't give you a choice, don't worry over it. What is the point? He says you change the habit of grieving. We have this habit of grieving all the time, worrying ourselves to death. चिंता चिंता चिंता, इसकी चिंता उसकी चिंता, आज की चिंता कल की चिंता, परसों की चिंता, पास्ट की चिंता, भूत की चिंता, भविष्य की चिंता. Worrying is a habit with us, all of us. We learned Matra Sprashasti Kaunteya. We extend this pain. That is what is called worrying. You've been through some pain. You try to retain it in your mind and your heart. Extend it. Give it more life. Worry is actually a thought, a vritti. And vritti is vasanajanya. You can't do anything about it. Fine. But giving credence to it, continuing that vritti, is something you can work on, you can change. Not supporting that vritti is your purushartha. So, by not supporting the vritti, you are working on manojaya. You are winning your mind. You're working on your mind rather than working on a situation which cannot be changed. So this is one great lesson that Krishna gives us here. Of course, in response to Arjuna's lamentations in the first chapter, I have explained to you about the eternality of the Atma. I have also told you that even if the Atma is taken as not eternal, and I have told you that something that is born has to die and something that is dead and gone will come back. So please don't grieve, Arjuna. Don't waste your energies. Don't get into these negative thoughts. get up, get into the habit of winning over your mind. Don't give into this habit of grieving all the time. Sloka number 28. We had a brief look at this. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamudhyani bharata. Acharya gives an introduction to this sloka. Here he is talking about the anitya anatma aspect. शरीर की दृष्टि से भी अगर आप सब कुछ को देखते हो, कार्यकरण की दृष्टि से भी देखते हो, कॉज इफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू कार्यकरण संघात रूप. कार्य मीन्स स्थूल शरीरम, करणम मीन्स सूक्ष्म शरीरम है. He is talking about, even if we take this as a body-mind complex and we are attached to this BMI, body-mind intellect concept of people, even then we should not grieve. Why? Because it is the nature of all these beings, bhutani, yesham bhutanam आदिहि कारण संगात्मकानां तानि अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि प्राग उत्पत्तेः. Means before manifestation, in the beginning they were all unmanifest. All the beings including Drona, Bhishma, Adi, they were all unmanifest in the beginning. The point here is that they are not created. We are not talking about creation and destruction here. We are talking about manifestation, coming up in a form and then disappearing only. So, क्रिएशन डिस्ट्रक्शन की बात नहीं चल रही है, विनाश की बात नहीं चल रही है, व्यक्त और अव्यक्त की बात चल रही है. तो ये सारे अव्यक्त थे पहले, अव्यक्त हैं, कल को दोबारा अव्यक्त हो जाएंगे. उनका नाश नहीं हो रहा है. Shariram is anatma. Anatma is matter. Matter will keep changing. It's a changing factor. अव्यक्त से व्यक्त, व्यक्त से अव्यक्त, फिर व्यक्त, फिर अव्यक्त. ये सिलसिला तो जारी है, चलता रहेगा. तो आप पूछेंगे, तो ये मैटर भी इटर्नल है? हाँ, बिल्कुल इटर्नल है. So what is the difference between Atma and this Anatma? We are supposed to distinguish discriminate between the two. If they are both eternal, what is the difference? Yes, there is a difference. Atma is of a higher order of reality, matter is of a lower order of reality. Both are eternal. But Atma na vyabhisharati. 16वां श्लोक, वर्स नंबर 16. आसते विद्युतो भाव, याद है ना? This body has come about it is manifested on account of the 5 bhutas. It will again disappear, go back to the 5 bhutas. So Krishna says, don't worry, don't give credence to sorrow. Refrain from giving intellectual support to this state of affairs. You give credence to worry, sorrow, you are giving credence to Maya. You are giving credence to Anatma. So since they are only appear and disappear, these appearances in between, Yakta Madhyani, in between for a very, very brief time, for a flicker of it. If you look at the eternality of the Atma, the time, passage of time from when they were Avyakt till the time they will again be there as unmanifest. There is a minuscule aspect of time span that the bhutas come into being, come into manifestation. Normally, of course, आधि मध्यम अंत जब हम कहते हैं, we are talking about सृष्टि कारणम, सृष्टि स्थिति लय कारणम. Here, of course, this is not the case. We are talking about the beginning condition of the being. Unmanifest in the beginning, unmanifest in the end. It is not a cause here, because if it were a cause, if it were an upadana karanam, it will be the same in all the conditions. So earlier it was unmanifest, it will remain unmanifest later, but right now it is manifest. They are manifest. So there is a difference. So we are not, the Lord is not talking about the Srishti Karanam aspect. We'll have to remember this. Now we will get on to the next shloka, which is glorification of the Atma. We are, of course, coming to the end of this topic soon. The 30th verse will be the last verse. The Lord takes us back to the eternality aspect of the Atman, as he has specified in verse number 12. Here we are talking about the wonder that the Atma is. Verse number 29 is a glorification of the Atma. Okay. I think it's time now. We started late today, right? We'll catch up. We'll begin this shloka number 29 in the next class. Hari Om.